What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
Our day begins at a not-so-typical roadside stall somewhere between Accra and Kumasi. And trust me, you won't find a market like this anywhere else around the world.
It's bad.
I want to start with a simple question. What is
I
this
don't
place?
think so.
Oh, this is the train station. They say about the Bushmeat on here.
How long has this
Bushmeat.
place been here? Do you know?
More than 50 years.
More than 50 years. Wow. I wasn't born.
This is Abby, a Kumasi-born chef who will join me on today's expedition. Beside her, bushmeat vendor Isaac. Though the work ain't pretty, he earns up to $150 daily selling wild animals for food.
Can you tell me about the most common animals that you get?
They have antelope, grasscutter, porcupine, so many meats.
Do you have turtle here?
Yes.
I've never seen turtles strung up this way.
Yeah, me too. I've never seen it.
It looks like
they're
the
alive.
weirdest kind of wind chime I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Situated on a major highway linking Ghana's capital to its second largest city, Isaac's shop caters mainly to road workers, travelers, and drivers seeking exotic souvenirs in the form of fresh or smoked bushmeat. These are ideal for pepper soup, a classic Ghanaian recipe for bushmeat. Isaac is preparing one such dish right now, and he's kindly invited us to join in.
How many different hunters do you see every week?
See hunters. They are hunted with the traps and the guns. They live from the villages.
Is it far, like very far from here?
Yes, Sebi and Coco and Chihuahua.
In Coco, that's like about 2 hours.
Isaac adds the final touch in the form of habanero and tomato paste.
Come on, man. They cooking. They cooking,
You're
y'all.
looking at the
Remind me of our
food.
cowboys.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, I think this looks good. From my
They really do
experience,
look
it
good.
looks spicy. This soup is supposed to be spicy, so I think it looks perfect.
As a private chef and food influencer, Abby makes it her mission to promote Ghanaian cuisine through social media. Despite her expertise, living in Accra, away from the bush, limits her exposure to bush meat. But when in Rome, she's more than happy to throw some back.
So, is this a good one?
No,
Well, there you have it.
it's good.
Oh, it is good.
I didn't hear it well.
Let me give it a little bit of a sniff. All right, it smells good. It smells spicy. It smells a little bit gamey, too.
They got a kick. You got it.
Oh, yeah, that's spicy.
As it should be.
Plenty of spice. Holy cow. So it's very salty and very spicy. What do you think? Are you happy with it?
Oh, it was nice.
The broth is nice. I'm going to try some of the meat. Wow, it's really lean. It's a little bit like chicken.
Yeah.
It surprises me. It looks like white meat. It's almost like a pork tenderloin, but a little bit
But can we
gamey.
speak? All right, we're gonna rewind that because and another thing he says a lot. He used the word gamey a lot, and I'm just curious to see what that would actually taste like. Like,
See.
is it? It's like eating grass. No, it's like the
You taste
smell.
it.
It's like
You-
the smell of grass
yeah,
after
you
it's
taste
cut.
it.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like you taste like when my uncles would be making like raccoon and all that stuff. It's a distinctive smell. I can't really describe it. It's like grass, like what you mean,
Yeah.
like seafood. You know how you go to some restaurants and it
Prince.
tastes like it's still out there.
Yeah. yeah.
Swimming.
Got you.
You know, it's like
100%.
that.
Okay. So yeah, I have them.
I was never that open back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to try the foods when my family would be cooking the what was it? All of the roadkill and all that. The hogs.
Yeah, I think it's just about the way you clean it.
It's more than about that for me.
Yeah.
I'm not even no raccoon.
I don't know.
Wow, it's really lean. It's a little bit like chicken, which
Yeah.
surprises me. It looks like white meat. It's almost like a pork tenderloin, but a little bit gamey.
Yeah, this is so good, actually. Do you like it?
I'm confounded. It's confusing. Look, I'm comfortable in an Applebee's with some half-price appetizers in front of me. Right now, I'm in the middle of the countryside in Ghana. I have a dick in my bowl.
Boy.
I got smoke in my face. I got road construction behind me. I'm a little bit out of my element.
There's a lot going on, I get you.
And so, do I like it?
Yes, you must.
I think I do.
When it comes to bushmeat in
look
Ghana,
good.
what you see here is
Just honest.
just the tip of the spear. Soon we'll be heading to Kumasi's largest bushmeat market.
What are the most exotic, rare creatures? I mean, have you ever gotten a giraffe?
But first, there's more to uncover at this roadside stall, including This, an unexpected encounter with one of the most prized bushmeat targets in Africa.
It's well known that it's illegal to have, but they have it anyways. Most people, when they come to Africa or to Ghana and they make a video about bushmeat, it's all negative. It's a way of life and a way of eating that most Americans cannot even begin to comprehend. What percentage of people in Ghana do you
Gotta make,
Unless they from the South.
bring it on out.
Okay, and we
Bring it
from
on
the
out.
South, and y'all already know I always have my reservations about things, but it's always been around us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when we take y'all home with us, because we taking y'all home with us, right, soon. When we take y'all home and we're going to go by our family members, they probably going to be cooking that in the background.
Yeah. So, like, you're definitely going to get people that's eating duck. You're going to get people that's eating hog. You're going to get people that's eating deer. Even down to the fish. Whatever type of fish you want, they probably got it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's definitely all there.
Yeah, and they done hunted themselves, okay?
1000%.
And the
think are
possums.
actually taking part
crazy.
in the consumption of bushmeat?
There are a lot of people.
Half the people?
More than half.
In cities, bushmeat is a rare and pricey delicacy, costing up to 3 times more than beef. But in rural areas where hunting is more prevalent, common species like grass cutters or small antelopes offer meat that's cheaper and easier to get a hold of. In fact, for some families, bushmeat makes up 90% of their daily intake of protein.
Why do some people in Ghana love bushmeat so much?
So he's saying that bushmeat is very nutritious here in
That's what I
Ghana. Most of the
figured, yeah.
bushmeat don't have fat at all. Also, you know, when you go to the bush, right, there are some plants or some leaves that are very, 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 very high in like their medicines. Those
Talk
leaves
about
are
it.
the leaves that these animals feed on. So the nutrients in it are very high.
Aside from Ghana, the
Good
tradition of
observation.
eating
That was
bushmeat
nice.
has deep roots in Cameroon, Nigeria, and the Congo. In spite of this, the hunting and eating of bushmeat has a negative stigma around the world. Most fear that this practice, if left unchecked, will lead to the permanent extinction of certain precious African species. This is a pangolin, one of the most critically endangered animals in the world.
At the bushmeat market right now, a gentleman
What is it?
just brought this out. He showed it to me. When we asked him if we could film it, if we could film him, he said absolutely not.
Yeah, they say this is something they shouldn't be eating. This is a pangolin.
What is it?
It's a pangolin, also known as our armadillo. So this is
That's what
our
it reminds
American
me of.
American armadillos, and this is Ghana armadillo / pangolin. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So it's like the shell
Yeah, that's what it
of
reminded
it. You
me
know what I'm saying? So, but it's going to
It is cute,
extinct,
though.
as he says.
Oh. So they can get in
This
trouble.
is
Right.
illegal. So what happens when something is illegal? It still gets captured, it still gets killed or hunted and sold, but they do so in secret.
The pangolin family consists of 8 species. They're found in tropical regions of Africa and Asia, and they're known for their distinctive overlapping scales, used to protect themselves against predators.
Its defensive posture is to curl up, wrap its tail around its body.
Tragically, this natural armor meant to protect the pangolin is the very same thing that makes it vulnerable and sought after by poachers.
It makes it even a little bit more heartbreaking, the fact that they're so docile and gentle. It's not trying to bite me or attack, it's just trying to hide and wait for me to go away.
But who's after these pangolin scales, and for what reason?
You can hear me, right? Keep going.
I probed the camera-shy seller in an effort to learn more.
The Chinese people comes to buy from them.
Our fixer Mavis helps us translate the conversation.
So we can dump the scale in water and soak it and drink.
Pangolin scales are merely keratin, made of the same material as your fingernails. But that hasn't stopped an influential number of Chinese from giving up their belief that pangolin scales have special healing properties, pushing market prices for their scales up to $1,500 per pound.
So do they transport the whole animal or just the scales?
So sometimes they come for the animal itself, sometimes they request for the scale.
In spite of international regulations protecting pangolins since 1975 and China's 2020 ban on consuming wild animals, smugglers still traffic tons of pangolin scales across borders each year. Meanwhile, I'm here in the middle of nowhere with a pangolin that's dehydrated and destined to become a blended toenail in someone's healing concoction. That I cannot allow. So $150 later, I'm the proud new father of this guy. The only problem is, I need to find a safe place to let him free. A place.
You hear him? Huh? I need to find a safe place to let him free. This is not his son's first time doing this. He did this with the monkey.
And the crab.
And the crab, he was like, I looked at the monkey in the eye. And there's no way I can eat this fella. So he said, we got to let it go. Got to respect it at the same time, but that's the culture of them. You know what I'm saying? They are out there making money and eating, and this is what they've been doing for years.
Right.
Years to years, so.
Where he won't be caught by the same poachers. But in the meantime, Abby and I are heading to Kumasi's largest bushmeat market. And soon, I'll be tasting a species from the bush that I've never tried before.
I didn't even know people eat bush cats.
A bush cat.
Bush cat. Different.
Right now we've come to Kamasi Market. This place is truly gigantic, huge and sprawling. There are literally thousands and thousands of stores, stalls, and vendors here, including this place. This is the bushmeat section of the market.
Situated in one of the largest open-air markets in West Africa, this bushmeat market processes up to 500 animals per day.
I want to back up and explain a couple of my goals in this video. I think most Westerners, when they come here to do reports or videos or documentaries on bushmeat, it's really only done to villainize what's taking place locally. Of course, we all know the dark side of bushmeat, people hunting and selling endangered animals and so on. But bushmeat is also an industry that employs thousands of people, from people hunting animals that are not vulnerable species to those selling to hunters. So I'm going to do my best in this video to look at both sides.
Once folks here...
Bro, but you gotta understand, like, let's be real here. The factories that are holding animals that's being prepared to be butchered. That's huge.
It's the same thing, right?
It's so huge compared to them saying, we got a little 500. These guys got a whole farm. Waiting and feeding and just preparing them so their revenue could keep accumulating itself. There's no difference.
Receive bush animals from the hunters, work can begin.
A normal day for him, he wakes up at like 5 a.m. He needs to get here before 6 a.m. so that he can start working on all the animals that they will bring from the farm or the bush or wherever it's coming from.
It starts with a char, burning the hair so it can be scraped clean. Then they hack the carcass into large chunks. Some cut are smoked or grilled, then
It's not
sold
bad.
as
It's
is.
over, baby. It's over.
While the rest are set
Oh, it's
aside
back.
for stews or soup. This will be our protein for our final meal, where I'll reveal the actual species later on.
So different animals can come any day. It can be from grass cutters, bush bars, antelope, whatever it is, they can all come. So it depends on the hunter, it doesn't depend on them. By 7 a.m. they need to finish everything and then distribute it to wherever it's going to. Whether the market women will come for it or then the chop by women will come for it. So 15 years ago, he's been doing this.
What? It's a long time. Has anything changed about this bushmeat market in 15 years?
So he said people were saying that the COVID was from the bats.
Right.
Yeah, and then some other bushmeat animals. So once they heard that, it affected all the bushmeat animals. So nobody wants to eat it at all.
And it's affected sales to
Yeah,
this day.
exactly.
Do people know that COVID came from China, or do they think it came from somewhere else?
Well, I know that COVID came from China, but people actually think it's from bushmeat. Most of Ghanaians think so.
Though we now know that
Oh,
COVID-19 actually came from a laboratory in Wuhan, China,
A
that doesn't mean
laboratory.
that bushmeat is without risk. Zoonotic pathogens have spilled over into human populations in the past, but the government here has listed out animals approved for consumption, and that meat, purchased from reputable, clean sources, can greatly decrease any threats from the bushmeat. From the processing area, fresh meat is often purchased and brought to small eateries known as chop bars. In this chop bar's open kitchen, a cooking lady will whip up a groundnut soup for our final meal. First, she chops our bushmeat cuts into smaller pieces. While waiting for our food, Abby and I meet the Queen Mother.
I come in here and I'm like, why is this bushmeat market more orderly than half of Ghana? I think it's because of you.
The Queen Mother is an elected representative and arbitrator of disputes among traders.
When you became the Queen Mother, what changes did you make?
This one, I brought it here.
The cooler.
We put the meat on it. Then we take ice blocks, not to spoil. This antelope.
Oh.
We have antelope, black Dhaka, royal antelope.
After a thorough wash, the bushmeat chunks settle inside a big pot with a ginger onion garlic blend and tomato paste. Our cook adds water and lets it simmer until the meat softens.
My big question for you is, why is bushmeat important for Ghana? Why aren't you just eating chicken and beef and pork? Because you have all that here too.
She
She said that it's been a generational thing. There is no deeper meaning to why we eat bushmeat. But for her, she feels like God has provided it. So why not kill it and enjoy it?
So should bushmeat have any limits?
Halfway through the simmering process,
You know, it takes me back in history when it was killing the mammoths. Them huge elephants with the long tusk.
Right.
Full of fur.
Right.
And then they would feed their family for months off of that.
Yeah, I thought of it.
You know?
In our time. Okay, check.
Well, and again, I'm just making all that mention because it's like with history, it's kind of been in the neck of the woods. For she's mentioning that God has blessed us to do that, but that was their resource. That's how they fed their people.
Right.
But when it became organized, now they're telling you can only eat certain things.
But that's no differently than when we watch like something. It was a video what we watched, like the Faroe Islands, and they were eating. What was the thing that they was eating? Something with the blood.
What was it?
It was an animal. I forgot exactly the animal that they ate, but they ate the blood sausage with it, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh! I can't. I know you're talking about, but I can't remember the animal was.
Right, but although it's not something that's in our culture, we shouldn't demonize what people
At
do
all.
in their culture. That's their food. Just like how we love our, I'm gonna just throw something out there, our gumbo, or there's different variations of our gumbo where people will put squirrel in the gumbo, they'll put deer in the gumbo. Just like we have kept that sacred and we put it on the pedestal. That's their culture.
100%.
We can't come from a different mindset and start demonizing people.
And another thing is that I feel like it's natural food pyramid.
Right, it's food.
It's a natural food pyramid because now this is a bug, but people will go to the bees and get honey, and now you got honey all over the shelves.
I like my honey.
And honey has a huge benefit to the human body.
Right.
And everything else has a benefit to the human body as well. So like I said, at one point in history, people was thriving and surviving off of what they can't have that was being provided for free. To it being now being organized and you have to pay for it.
Right.
So it's like, it's a conversation.
Right, and when it comes to like what is it? The roadkill that our people eat here, I wouldn't know if there's a regulations on it, but I know they're eating it. It's their choice to eat it. You don't have to eat it.
I think the regulation is to be more aware of rabies and anything that comes with it because of the environment, eating out the trash and stuff like that. Yeah.
Catching it yourself. Of course, know your laws and know the risks, but it's food.
That goes to the conversation you was talking about with COVID. How they try to demonize them and say that you guys are eating the food that is providing COVID amongst the people, but it wasn't them. It was across the waters.
Misinformation.
Yeah.
Cook adds 2 fresh tomatoes and an onion. Then she focuses on diluting groundnut paste with some water.
Aside the ones that are actually illegal to eat, the only restriction that is on it is the timing of hunting. Right. So from August to December, do not touch any bushmeat.
Once the meat is tender enough to absorb more flavor, the cook pours in the diluted groundnut paste, a pepper tomato blend, and dried catfish. Half an hour more of simmering, and there's no turning back.
One last question. I want you to think about this a lot. If bushmeat was banned tomorrow, you cannot hunt it, you cannot sell it, you cannot eat it, what would be the negative effects to people in Ghana?
She said I should tell you point blank that will never happen here. She believes in God strongly. But she said God will never let that happen. But if that should happen like you're saying, it will affect us badly because she's going to lose her job. This is something she's been doing from childhood. Just here in Kumasi, you can count over 100 people in this business. So just imagine the whole Ghana.
Generating around $136 million annually, Ghana's bushmeat
wait. That's a history.
Industry is more than a handful of hunters and market sellers. It's a serious business and an essential source of protein for countryside folks, especially during the dry season when farmed meat is more scarce.
Even if you think they ban it, people
see now the farm meat is scarce. Like that's the problem, right? That's like us not having meat available in our stores where it's deemed the best way to buy meat, right? That's what it's deemed as, but we have access to our farms. We have access to our hunters who could get us a whole cow.
Yeah.
Well, not the hunters, but the farms.
Could
get us the whole cow, and we have meat for the whole year. That's an option. You would be taking an option from the people.
Yeah. I feel you on that.
love bushmeat so much. They can't afford to stay away from it, so it's not going to work for them.
The entanglement between bushmeat and its connection to the people of Ghana makes outright banning bushmeat a complicated matter. So instead of banning, the government has focused on creating and enforcing regulations. Those same regulations ban the hunting and selling of pangolins. Come to think of it, I was illegally sold a pangolin, and I think I just figured out what to do with it. But first, the groundnut soup.
Alas, our final dish, a dish full of exotic bushmeat.
Yeah.
Here's what's wild. So right before we had this served to us, I saw more animals brought in, and there was a bush cat out there.
Would you want to try that?
Well, I'm not going to feel like I'm missing out. It's just one of the few places in the world where you see stuff like that. I instantly thought, oh, that must be an accident. It must be illegal. And then we asked, and they go, no, it's legal. That's fine. Now, when it comes to this, we have the bush buck here.
The bush buck, a medium-sized antelope, weighing about 10 times more than a dik-dik. It thrives across sub-Saharan Africa, making it one of the most popular sources of bushmeat in Ghana.
So this is granite soup. We use it to eat any kind of staple. You can use it to eat bangkun, fufu, but preferably it's best eaten with rice balls. Like literally, it's the best combo.
The rice balls, when she was making it, it looked like oversaturated rice. She puts in a little too much water to get it soft, and then she balls it up.
That's it.
Oh, it's hot. It's been sitting here for 10 minutes. It's still hot.
Yeah, it is. He went straight forward.
What do you think?
Wow, I don't know. I feel like I got hit by 10 different cars. It was like a wave of experiences.
Yeah.
First, I tasted the gaminess, some kind of a flavor I've not really had before. That hits me at first. Now, the texture is nice. It seems well suited to soaking up this broth. Then I'm tasting tons of spice, tons of salt, and it's very spicy too.
Yeah, as it should be.
Now, I like the peanut part. It's giving me Thailand vibes. So, the bush buck, this is new for you. You've had plenty of bush meat, but never the bush buck.
How soft it is. It looks really tender.
That's pretty good. It's much more
Sounds
lean
like-
than beef.
Yeah,
a little
real
bit more
tough.
like deer to me.
And really soft. I like it.
Skin.
Let's try that.
Bit rubbery. You know, our soups in the USA, we never eat the skin like this. Do you know what we do with cow skin?
No.
We make shoes.
Why would you make shoes with cow skin?
I'm just saying, we don't eat it. It's a different type of texture. I wouldn't have liked it when I was 24, but I've gotten used to weird textures around the world. It's a bit chewy, and it has a lot of collagen. I like it, though.
I like everything about this food. And it's one of my favorite meals in Ghana. Ghana soup with whatever, whether bushmeat or whatever it is, I'll eat it. I don't know about you, but I'm happy about it.
I feel very conflicted on the issue of bushmeat. On one hand, I think that it's an important industry for the local people, and it's important for people to honor their history and their heritage.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there's a dark side to it too. For you, as a Ghanaian, bushmeat, is it good, bad, or complicated?
I think I'll say it's good. Why would I say it's bad? I enjoy eating it. I mean, I'm enjoying this right now, so I would never say this is bad. I get what your point is. You don't want to like finish all the animals or let them go extinct. But for me, I think as an African woman, if something is good to me, I would eat it.
In that case, is it good that they're taking measures to reduce overconsumption? For example, they stop hunting from August to December. Is that a good thing?
I think that's the only way we can control that. So we can enjoy it and can also sustain it.
I think that's the future for Ghana and other parts of Africa.
Yeah.
I don't think it's reasonable to say that bushmeat should be banned. It's like going to Minnesota, where I'm from, and saying deer hunting should be banned. It's just like an ignorant statement.
Yeah.
But there needs to be governing bodies. There needs to be some limitation. Otherwise, that idea about will this go 100 years into the future, it won't even go 20 years into the future.
That's true.
If it's completely unregulated.
That's true.
Our journey with the bushmeat is
That's interesting. Let us know what y'all think about that. As an American, I don't feel like that's my place to even have an opinion on. I think I stated my opinion earlier about how we know hunters. You know, we know that they go out there and they're hunting their food and they're eating their food and they're selling the rest or whatever. But there's options available, and we know that there's options available in Ghana as well.
Yeah.
Everybody isn't buying their food from a market.
Yeah.
So a market like that. So there's options.
I think life cycle in general has its responsibilities with
Exactly.
knowing the timing. Like, I think animals specifically know the time they breed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They know the time to get together. And the land is so massive.
Mm-hmm.
There's areas of this world we haven't touched.
Exactly.
Not saying that the animals in general are going to, populate to that extent, or do we know if they're there or not anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but from the neck of the woods where they're stumping, it's like I just feel like life cycle has its balance to where they know how things supposed to just operate.
Right. And we are here to take care of the animals, but
The land too, at that.
we eating animals. Oh, that sounds so horrible, but that's the truth. It don't only happen in Africa. So why is the focus always on what they're doing in Africa?
Like I said, 500 to them is 200,000 to a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He has literally like the farms set up to where they're populating and repopulating and adding and taking and selling and doing, like, the business is crazy.
But it's okay because he's working with the government.
And they have so many
To help.
stores, so many stores that they have to feed
Yeah,
for the people.
right, for the people.
So we looking at it as like, okay, yeah, one cow can feed, you know, about 4 families.
Mm-hmm.
But when you sit back and ask yourself, well, how many cows do we have to knock off for this to work?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, does life take its toll to where it make it to where they're already responsible enough to where it's a person, but to where it's responsible to populate enough accordingly so that humanity can still thrive.
Right.
You know, that's a conversation I never really truly had. But
Right. That's why I said, as Americans, it's like, you are almost a hypocrite in a way, because just because we eat mainly chicken, beef, what else we eat, whatever
organized,
is
you know,
always in the store,
mm-hmm.
don't mean that all this other stuff is just bad. You know, like I
Right,
remember when I was
right.
younger, and it was a holiday and they had duck on the table, and I'm like,
duck.
yeah.
Mm.
I'm like, what's that?
Mm.
Just because it's something that I'm not used to or I choose not to eat doesn't mean that what everybody else choose to eat is bad.
Yeah, I like what you said though. Just because we only focus on eating these type of animals doesn't mean that because people focus on them it's not bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, you know, I agree with the regulations, but at the end of the day,
Yeah, true.
Africa is not the only place that is doing this. We've
Oh, yeah,
seen,
1000%.
seen on the channel places in Asia is doing it as well, all over the world.
Got
Here,
emu farms, ostrich farms, camel farms.
yeah, I remember.
Literally, like.
Yeah, I remember when we was living at the last place we lived at before we moved to Texas.
Okay,
and
yeah.
we had a hog problem
We did.
in that field right across. And we like, where is the hunters?
We did. Had a
Everybody
terrible
was on
hog.
social media like, come on, y'all. They got some hogs for y'all to, I don't want to say
Literally.
the word.
I-
But they
yeah.
got some hogs for y'all because the people ain't doing their job.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah.
It's a conversation, bro. It's interesting.
But our story is not over. I've taken the pangolin and we've come here. Right now we are at
to the
Kumasi
zoo.
Zoo. We've just spoken to the people here. We've just come here unannounced and they said, yes, you can come in. They have an area here where we can release it. We're going to go do that now.
The Kumasi Zoological Gardens spans 370 acres and is home to nearly 200 animals. Here they engage in breeding programs for endangered species, and they also
love
provide
that.
sanctuary for orphaned animals. Here, my gentle pangolin friend is promised a bright future.
Right now we are inside the walls of the zoo, and here they have a huge forest area in this enclosure. They said actually they have about 30 pangolins in here already. I'm not the first to do this, which is a good
Oh,
thing.
that's
Other
what's up.
folks, they go by these street-side bushmeat markets, they purchase the animals, and they've also brought them here too. So it'll be a chance for this guy to reproduce and to live for another day, hopefully. So I'm gonna let it out of this Smirnoff ice box. And let him go on his way.
Right in the stretch. Oh, it's
I mean, I'm sure
I think he's saying thank
you
you.
can probably see why they're pretty easy to catch. They're like the most sweet creatures ever. You're so bad at being free. No wonder they catch you. Yes, go, go. Into the bush. We're turning the bushmeat back to the bush. Until next time, my friend.
Let's see how we're going to end it. Let's see.
Hungry for more fun?
Boom, bro. We're going to stop it right there. Make sure you guys go check his channel out. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's the food pyramid, y'all. And, you know, nature can be brutal itself. And
It can.
the idea of having a person go out there and, you know, collect so much different animals that you probably never tasted can be brutal as well to a person who don't understand that.
Right.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just it's a cycle and there's balance and everything. You just got to figure it out on what side of it does it make sense for you.
Right. If it involves you.
Yeah.
Period. If it
Put that on there,
involves you.
then put a period. Yeah.
Right.
If it involves
And
you.
also, think about the jobs. That lady been working there since she was a child. How many more people have been working there since she was a child?
Exactly.
And,
yeah.
and think
yeah.
about the people that came before them. That's their way of life. How dare you? If it don't involves you, have an opinion on their way of life.
Being that that's their culture, the lady said that it's like a 2-hour drive where people got to come back to just sell what they catch. That's another job for young men. You know what I'm saying? Because if they're interested in that field, then they have men out there who can take them into the nature, into the wild, and then show them the exact way to do something. And again, providing revenue for the family, because now he's growing up understanding how to create revenue, create food, resources, benefits his family, all that good stuff. So, yeah.
All right, y'all. Did not expect this video to have us speaking about this at all.
Yeah, I felt like it was a little deep.
Yeah, one of our history type of topics.
Yeah, but you know.
All right, y'all. We hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.